Hello, everybody. This is Dennis Allen, and you're listening to the Dennis Allen City Boy Homesteader podcast. The city boy who gave it all up to find happiness, freedom of financial burdens, and a better way to live life. Together, we could learn and accomplish anything. Today is Monday, February 18th, 2019, episode numero 7, and it's Music Monday, a weekly podcast where we talk about everything from music related going on in my life or in a valley so nice they named it twice Penns Valley. Today joining us is Karl Leitzel. He is a seasoned music lover who has also been involved in the music scene here in the valley since he was a tiny lad. We talk about music scene here and how it's involved, a brief explanation of who Karl is, what the heck is a ukulele, and why is there one hanging up at the Inglebean Coffee Shop? Also, how is the ukulele helping the haven of hope and kids in need in Africa? So stay tuned for that. We ended off with the song of the day by Karl himself called Okay, Not Okay. So before we get into that, let's go over today's first sponsor, the Inglebean Coffee Shop. We are filming live in the Inglebean today, so there is some background noise. It is a great little coffee shop in the middle of nowhere, right near the light in Milheim, to enjoy a place you could get away and work. You could meet up with some friends from the coffee and some great local organic food. We have vegan options, vegetarian, gluten-free, whatever you want. We have it here at Inglebean, so come on down. Check us out at inglebean.com, woodwardquarry.com. That's my music venue. My website is dennisallen.com. Check out Karl at thegreendrakeart.com and also the Haven of Hope global.org. That's what we talk about, raising some money for some kids in need. So let's get on to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it and you will share it with your friends and spread the word of this podcast and what's going on in Penns Valley. All right, guys, enjoy it. All right, so here we are with Karl Leitzel, a resident here in Milheim, or his shop is here in Milheim. So welcome, Karl, to the podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get into everything, I'd like to just ask you, who you are and maybe what brought you to the Valley or Central Pennsylvania, or where you're from, maybe from the area. So just a little bit of background on who you are for listeners that don't know Karl.
Okay. I did grow up in the area, at least from the time I was 7 years old, which is a long while ago at this point. I grew up in the next little town over, Aaronsburg. Went to the school district, the public school here, and never really left the area other than very brief periods. So I've been here since, carving out a living as an artist, a fine artist as well as a sign painter, both of which are rather tenuous, self-employed kind of things. I worked at Penn State for a while doing computer graphics in the earlier days of computer graphics when they would hire any artist off the street because there was no such thing as a person with a degree in that. Now there is, and I wouldn't be able to get that kind of a job probably. Yeah. But it was good learning, learned a lot about how to do it on the computer. So I make my living off fine art and sign painting, but music's always been at least as much of a love and just like one of those things that I'd rather not try to make much money at it because it's probably one of the few ways it's harder to make a living than as a visual artist, because you don't exactly have a tangible thing to sell, as a musician. You try to get bookings, you try to sell CDs, but you don't have paintings to sell.
Yeah, you just have an inventory in the back of your car at a trade show.
Paintings. We have the gallery. I run an art gallery here in town. We started about 9 years ago as a partnership thing. So I have my hands in the arts all over the place in various ways. Mm-hmm.
And so music's when did you start playing? When you were a kid?
I started playing guitar when I was 16 because that's how you got girls, that's why most
stories start that way.
That's why most teenage guys learn to play the guitar. The bass player, he's in the back, he doesn't get the girls. But, but I mean, and because I learned, when I was 16 and there was music I was hearing on the radio or on albums that I wanted to learn to play, I learned to play intuitively by ear. I didn't ever You know, I know a little bit about what's involved in reading music, but I don't read music. You know,
that's cool.
I hear the song. It's helpful if I've got the list of the chords, the chords written in above the words, and then I try to make it sound like the radio. And that's that's really cool. My approach, and it has its pluses and minuses. But when you learn to play music that way, you can jump in and sit in with people like we do here at the open mic, and it's like with other people that understand music, you're playing together successfully in 2 minutes.
Because it's amazing.
You're not needing the written music. You're not needing to. It's like, let's make it sound good.
Right.
That's what it's about.
And it does. I mean, here at our open mics at the Inglebean, we do. You guys, it's amazing that somebody will just join the crew and they just jump right in, a violin,
it's like, this could use a harmonica or whatever, which I also play, or whatever. This song could use the fiddle player that's here sometimes. Yeah. And some of the stuff that, obviously some of them are train wrecks, but the ones that work out well, it's like, boy, I wish we had that recorded because that was really good. That's never going to happen again exactly like true, that, It's one-off music things. Which,
that's true.
Yeah.
And so has the music scene been this big here since you growing up back then? Or I don't want to give your age away, but what?
Yeah, well, I'm 61. And I don't act my age, but I am. No, there wasn't the number of musicians of all different types in this area, I don't think, when I was growing up. That has really grown since the Elk Creek Cafe, the microbrewery, opened in town a little bit before our art gallery, created kind of a hub for the arts, and they have a lot of music up there a couple times a week.
Yep.
And so musicians, even more than before, started moving into the area. We always had kind of a pretty good population of various kinds of artists here because we're sandwiched between two pretty major universities on either side of us, half an hour. Penn State and Bucknell. Yep. And so you get a lot of people that ended up, I like it here, I'm going to stay here, after going to school or something.
I hear that story often.
That includes musicians. But once the Elk Creek was here and having regular music in and more young musicians start moving into town because, hey, this is kind of a music place, it's just a growing thing. And now we've got, the open mics here.
Yep.
So there's like a musician behind every bush around.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
Which is really great because you get to know so many people that you've played a few times with before. You can just sit down and hey, let's have some fun and make some music.
Yeah, that's really great. What else do I have there? You dropped some instruments off here at the Inglebean? What's the deal with that?
I've got those hanging on the wall. There's kind of a couple of spares that I have.
Yeah.
Not my first. A guitar and a ukulele. The ukuleles I decorate and sell on Etsy. It's like custom painted ukuleles.
Okay. Yeah.
And through the art gallery a little bit.
What's the name of your Etsy site?
It's Happy Ukuleles by Carl.
Okay, and you could just search FC for that?
If you search that, you'd find it. If you just search decorated ukuleles, you'd probably run into mine.
Do you sell them at the gallery across the street?
We've got a few up at the gallery.
Is the Green Drake?
Yeah, the Green Drake Gallery. So I keep one hanging on the wall down here as well as one of my extra guitars. Just so that, for one thing, if I'm coming in here and I'm having a cup of coffee and I want to pick it up and play a little bit or play along with what's on the, on the
Would
radio.
you mind maybe grabbing a ukulele or? This is recorded live, people. Anything will happen.
It's actually just about in tune. When you have an instrument hanging in a coffee shop like this, I'll come in and check them every now and then because, sometimes somebody picks them up and tries to tune them, and they're way out of tune. Occasionally, there's a broken string because somebody's a little rough on them, so I replace the strings. I try to keep them up. But this one's a tenor ukulele. Ukuleles come in 4 different sizes. 3 of them, of which this is the larger of those, are all tuned the same way.
All right.
And then the other's a lower tuned, larger one.
Do they all have 4 strings?
Ukuleles have 4 strings, and the tuning essentially is the same as a guitar. But on the 3 standard ukuleles, it's up 5 half steps or 5 frets.
All right.
So it's like a guitar capoed up to the 5th fret. Now you've got a ukulele, except the ukulele only has the top 4 strings of the guitar. And it's shorter, smaller, more compact.
Cool.
And for certain things, it sounds great, Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds right on the ukulele, especially if you're on a beach in Hawaii, which I'm still waiting for the opportunity to play one on a beach. But my main ukulele that I have, Actually, I played on a couple beaches in the southeastern U.S. And whenever I play it on some beach, I pick up a tiny little shell and take it home. Later on, super glue it onto an unobtrusive place on the ukulele as a memento of that beach that the ukulele is played on.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Is that the one I saw on your website? There's one with a beautiful palm tree with like a glowing sunset.
No, but I do some with the palm. No, mine has like some words around the edge and stuff. But the palm tree, like the sunset palm tree, is one of the motifs I like to paint on because it looks so islandy.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah,
very beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you do with these? So do you teach?
I teach. I do lessons up at the gallery. You know, we have a studio space up above where I do a lot of my art, and where I also teach some. I teach ukulele. I teach guitar.
Okay.
I also play. I play harmonicas. I play little saxophone, but I teach mainly guitar and ukulele.
And just for people out there, I mean, what does that cost on average? You know, just a guesstimation.
It's probably typical for this area. A half-hour lesson is $18. It's most often once a week.
Once a week, 18. Yeah. Wow,
that's what's usually.
And how long do you think it'll take to get to a open mic maybe performance?
Oh man. Well, a lot of the people that I teach, more often, and I don't teach that many, but the ones that I teach, it's mostly kids. You know, because a lot of people pay for music lessons for their kids where they wouldn't think of spending that money on themselves. You know, and to help them get a start in music. So, and it really depends on how into it that kid is, especially younger ones, but even the teenagers. Yeah. If they're kind of, I kind of want to learn to play guitar, but in the back of their mind, but I don't want to work hard at it, they're going to like struggle and not practice enough and all that, and after a couple months give up or something, quite often.
That's true. Yeah.
If they're into it, though, I've got this one student, she's 9 now. She was 7 when she started on the ukulele.
Wow.
She's played here at the open mic. Sadie, you remember Sadie?
Yeah.
She was so into it from the start. I mean, so this was funny. So within about 4 lessons, you know, never having played before, she was starting to get pretty good. And I noticed she was I could see her mouthing the words to the songs. They were songs she knew. She learned to play. I said, you can sing this song too, can't you? And she said in her little 7-year-old voice, yeah, at home. She was shy about singing in front of anyone. So, and she wouldn't, that lesson, she would not do it in front of me, but she would go in, she was willing to sing it for me while she played. If she went into the next room so she couldn't see me, we couldn't see each other.
Cute.
Then the next lesson, she was willing to sing for me with my back turned. And by the next one, she was singing. And now she sings in talent shows at the local fair. She comes down here and sings at the open mic. I mean, she's like a total performer. She belts it out. You know, she does the national anthem with the ukulele for the local high school wrestling games and stuff up there.
That's so great.
At the high school. So that's what can happen. And now 2 years later, she is really getting good. That's the difference between somebody who really is into it and is like they pick it up every chance they get, and somebody who's I guess I'll do some music lessons. Total difference.
So great.
Yeah,
that's so great. Now, do you do something with charities with these ukuleles?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, my wife and I went over to Zambia as part of. It's actually a locally run parachurch Christian ministry
in this area, locally.
Yeah, out of State College called Haven of Hope.
Oh, I've heard of it.
And Haven of Hope was started by some local pastors, one of which, Vince Smith, is now in town here and comes down to the coffee shop. He was one of the ones who founded it. They now have 2 schools in Zambia and one in Uganda, where they've started them like in the poorest parts of the cities.
Right.
Where these are kids where a lot of kids are either single or double orphaned. Because in that part of Africa, HIV/AIDS is huge. So a lot of young parents have died of it, and they don't have the treatment as much available as here.
Right.
So there are these kids with one or no parents, living in a poor, in the slums of the poor part of the city, and Haven of Hope has started schools, really nice, basic but good schools, a square meal for lunch, set of school clothes, the whole 9 yards. And we went over to help out there, and I knew that they were really into music, but they probably wouldn't have many instruments. So when we went over, I took a ukulele that I then left with them. Another guy took a guitar over, so we were playing music for him as part of what we did with them. But we left that and then we set up a nonprofit through Haven of Hope, which you can actually access through their website, for donating money to send a few more over each time a group goes over there.
That's great.
So and also to help find lessons for them so that some of the teachers in the schools could learn to play them. Because that's the other half. Somebody's got to play them.
Right. Yep.
And that was tough because these were both in Zambia. apparently in Zambia, it seems like nobody's ever heard of the ukulele. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, so the best they could do is find some local guitar teachers who could teach them, because it's basically the same thing. They could teach them to play the basics of the ukulele because they taught guitar, but they had never seen a ukulele before.
Oh, that's great.
But it's such a small, inexpensive, compact instrument. It's
in
really
your
good for a
luggage
third world country where you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of room to keep stuff.
Yeah.
Great instrument. And now we're working on putting together some money this next trip this summer for which we won't be going on, but to send a bunch of plastic recorders over, the flute type recorders, because that's another inexpensive instrument that lets you get a whole music program in the school, because each one costs us like $3 here. So we can send a suitcase of them over there, and they can hand them out to the kids.
Cheap, yeah. And where could people donate, or is there?
If you look up Haven of Hope, I don't know the exact website, but Haven of Hope State College, PA.
I'll put a link in down below.
You'd be able to find it, and there's actually a spot there. They have, you can donate to the program, but they also have in that list you can donate specifically to the instruments. We call it Instruments of Hope.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Supply instruments. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with the tens of people listening right now?
Well, just
maybe hundreds. No, there's hundreds so far.
No, I always say it's really good to create low expectations.
Yes. Because that's life is based
people
around.
Can only be pleasantly surprised if it works out better than that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I would just say, obviously, for people here in this area, come and check out the open mic on Friday nights here at the Inglebean, because it's just a great the atmosphere and everything. Yeah. Check out our art gallery if you want up. The Green Drake. It's 1 block away. The nice thing about Milheim is everything's 1 block away,
right near the light.
Yeah. But if you're somewhere else, do what you can to encourage music in your area. Everybody should have music in their life, and if lots of people like to listen to it. Yeah. If you like to listen to music, and I've told you this, Dennis, learn to play one instrument, so you can be ready to join in on just whatever, harmonica, whatever, something like that. It just expands. Your appreciation for music expands when you actually, even a little bit, play something.
Yeah.
Because you start, and then you look at somebody that's really good at it and say, wow, now I know what went into that. Yeah. That person that can do it well.
I do enjoy even just getting the drumsticks out
Drums
and tapping
are good,
on the desk
no
or anything.
Involved,
or tambourine. You get that feeling of when you're playing and participating.
And you're part of it. It's this group effort thing. It's like there's a symbiotic thing that happens where it becomes larger than the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're part of the show, and it's a great feeling. So, would you want to play a song with us, or maybe end off with a little song here?
Yeah, you want to like a full song?
Let's do a full song, yeah. So we're going to end it up with a song. He's going to grab the big guitar, maybe tune it up a little bit. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Check out woodwardquarry.com, theinglebean.com, The Green Drake on Facebook, and there's a website for The Green Drake. Is that right, Carl?
greendrakeart.com.
greendrakeart.com. Again, I'll put everything in the show notes below. And he's going to tune it up. And that's going to be pretty much for this podcast.
I'll do one of mine that I wrote. That way we won't get in trouble with the music, please.
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast. Yeah, you got to do that one.
Yeah.
I played this one already at the open mics a couple times. It's called Okay, Not Okay. There's a philosophy about that it's okay if those without are left to struggle on their own, are left to struggle all alone, anonymous to us unknown, without a hope, without a home, without a hope, without a home. All alone, all alone. so alone, so alone. There is another philosophy, come from above, come down on me. That if I see someone in need, someone to clothe, someone to feed, that I am not to turn away, that I am not to turn and say, to be hungry is okay. To be hungry is okay. Is okay. It's not okay. Not okay. To be alone, hungry and unknown. All alone, to be unknown. It's not okay, not okay. No, 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 it's not okay to be alone. Not okay, not okay. No, 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 to be unknown. Not okay, not okay. No, 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 it's not okay. No, 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 not okay. No, 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 it's not okay.
Woo! Thank you, Karl.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Love you all.